Thank you very much to BPI for making this possible. And I think we have the pleasure of having the last Nicolas to tell us as a closing remark on the conference. Thank you.
Nicolas DUFOURCQ, the president of BPI France. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye. It's okay.
Okay. Should I say some words, or you ask me questions? Or?
No, please.
As you like.
As you like, please.
Okay.
What can you take out? What can you take out of this full day of information and insights and people? And we had 27 speakers, I think, in total.
No, I was extremely happy to see the number of people who joined us all the day. I mean, at some hours we were at peaks close to 1,000 people around the world. So we will redo that kind of operations. It's the second one. We're extremely proud to be not only the host, I would say, in those studios of BPI France in Paris, that maybe some of you who listen to us today will discover one day when it will be possible. But we're really proud to be sort of the orchestrators of that day. I would pay a tribute to the teams of our expertise direction who made it possible. Thank you very much to you too. Because it was a marathon, as we say in French. I mean, a whole days of discussions and those maybe not so.
It was a stupid challenge we decided a year ago, and we said, okay, we're going to do it.
I know you like it. So, I mean, it may be an avatar of the challenge of the Quantum Plan of France, which will be announced soon. I can just promise that. It's only because of the COVID that our president could not do it today. But I mean, it's out of the oven. We know what's in it, but we have a president who is probably one of the seldom, chief of states in the world who is capable to talk about that.
I have a question. Since we asked the question of scalability from all of our speakers, now tell us about BPI scalability regarding quantum technology.
Right.
What is your plan?
Thank you very much. I think that the beauty of BPI, maybe some words on the bank, because it's a bizarre animal, actually. For a lot of foreign colleagues who are listening to me tonight, you need to know that we have a company, because it's not an institution. It's a real bank. It's making a lot of money. It's profit making and so forth. We are poised beginning of 2021 to allocate, distribute, funnel to the French startups and innovative companies 3.5 billion euros per year in soft loans, subsidies, reimbursable advances, seed loans, venture loans, and so forth. I'm not talking of equity. On top of that, we are also the biggest equity investor in Europe in tech, I think by far. Every year, we invest 600 million euros in funds of funds to the venture capital funds of France, but not only of France, also in Germany, Great Britain, America, Israel, and so forth. 600 million euros per year, with a multiplier effect of 5. And on top of that, we are now managing on our own equity 5 billion euros of venture dry powder. So we are the biggest French venture capital fund. So we have a lot of possibilities, and I would say that we always thought when we created that bank 7 years ago that financial capital was not enough. If you want to reach really your targets and objectives, you need to have consulting services. You need to accompany your startup leaders and so forth. And therefore, we launched last year something which is called the Deep Tech Plan. The Deep Tech Plan, Olivier knows it, but you all need to know, if you listen to me tonight, what it means for you, because you foreign startup leaders, you may be interested to develop your companies in France for that precise reason. The Deep Tech Plan, it's a plan which aims at generating out of the French laboratories in the next 4 years, 2,000 startups, and to finance them, and to help them grow and be organized. Of course, it means that we can, for all of those startups, organize, twin teams between the pure scientists and the more managerial and commercial, competencies that are whatsoever necessary. So we build startup studios in all the French universities. In all the French universities, we make enormous progresses in the fluidity of the transfer of intellectual property. And in all the universities, we do what is necessary to do the cultural change of the researchers so that they understand the possibility, the beauty of creating a startup. And because we are covering most of the risks, we tell them, come on, the question of risks, we put them aside. For the rest, it's in your mind. I mean, do you want to do it or not? You can do it, you should do it. I mean, we think that the rate of transformation of the French science into economy is too low, much, much too low. And we can do a lot of things. Typically in Quantum, we are happy to see that we have in France today approximately 25 startups. Some of them,
companies, yeah. Startup and SMEs, by the way.
And SME,
yeah.
exactly. And around that, you have a whole ecosystem of SMEs which can, provide
technologies and services
and equipment and services to those who are at the forefront of the qubit developments, for example. Some of the names start to be with a strong reputation. I mean, they were cited today, typically Pascal. We have a great company which is Atos, with the HPC tradition and the QLM product, which was presented this morning. I mean, all this creates a lot of assets to make credible our will to generate a connected ecosystem.
I would have one question, which may be too practical, but it's a question I hear continuously from hardware startups who think that they're going to need maybe between 100 and 2 billion euros or dollars to get funded. And there's million.
100
billion is a bit too much.
Yeah, 100.
So they think they need that, and in some cases it's true, it's totally valid. But they fear to be diluted or to have a majority of capital from the US, and then it's going to be not anymore a French company. Yeah. So what would be the recommendation? I could have asked a question to Christophe Jossac as well. But what would be the BPI recommendation to avoid becoming a foreign company, or maybe to become just a European company and not a US company when you need that level of funding? Is there a practical recommendation, or it's just each case is different?
It all depends on the structure of your business. I mean, typically this afternoon I had an investment committee of a company which is making 20 million euros of revenue, but growing 70% per year. So she is valued 30 times revenue. And with 30 times revenue, you have no problem of dilution, of course. But still, we will invest in it with our European and French partners. So if this is the equation with Quantum, I mean, the researchers should not be too much, I mean, considering the level of the values today, worried by dilution. On top of that, there are a lot of non-dilutive instruments, which are convertibles, which are loans, which are subsidies. I mean, in the Quantum plan, there will be a lot of subsidies. So I would not focus on that, honestly. And if I am honestly a researcher who starts to build my startup, I should not start by being obsessed by keeping absolutely the control of my teams and my company and so forth. I mean,
it may be not just for the startups. It may be also for government, for people who fund the companies.
And after 6 to 7 years after having groomed and seeded and helped companies to see them swallowed by non-European companies, may be a subject of concern. But I mean, if there is an equation of possible profitability, you will find the equity of it.
Okay.
You're not tired? I'm tired. Let's.
We can wrap up.
We can wrap up.
I'll let you wrap up because I could.
No, it's just the last word to you.
So my last word is thank you to you, thank you to the teams, because we are now embarking into a journey of probably 9 months in which all our events will be digital. So. Those who are listening to me tonight and to you and to us all the day, you need to know that behind the wall, there were 20 people who worked for you, and thank you to them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much again.
So now you can have your own cocktail in your home and or your office, and we try to do the same over there.
We start the party here. Thank you very much for those of you who join us online, ask the question, answer the question, and keep this thing alive for such a long day. Thank you again to all the panelists, all the speakers who made it possible and spend their time from different time zones. And thank you again to Bpifrance for making it happen.